Hello everyone, so I've decided to give you a quick review of my Tennis Tutor ProLite ball machine, which I've been using for about 2 years now. And there are a couple of things I like about it, and there are a few other things I don't really like about it. So let's start with the body. So the ball machine is very small compared to other ball machines. It's also quite lightweight, and for me it was quite important because I usually bring it home after training and I bring it back the other day, so portability was important for me, and this is a portable small machine. However, it doesn't have wheels like other models do, so if you want to carry it around, then you have to grab it here and pull it up, which is a little bit can be inconvenient because compared to other ball machines, this is a lightweight ball machine, but actually just by looking at the weight, it's not very light. So it's not very comfortable actually to bring it around. And as I said before, it doesn't have wheels on the bottom, so especially when it's full of balls here on the top, I open it for you so you see where the ball goes. So when it's full of balls, you cannot, and you realize that actually you would need a ball machine at another location on the tennis court, then it's kind of very difficult to grab it on the bottom and bring it to a new location just with your hands. Another things to mention about these flaps, these plastic flaps which hold the balls in place, is that they are made out of plastic. It's kind of a cheap white, a little bit see-through plastic, and the joints here in the inside are very easy to break. So just imagine yourself playing from the other side of the tennis court and your balls are landing around the ball machine, and sooner or later a few balls will definitely crash into one of these flaps, breaking them. I had a lot of these cases already, and you either need to buy a new flap, or actually I contacted the customer service of Tennis Tutor of the company, and they sent me a few for free, and I always have them with myself because breaking them is always an option. It's a quite easy option. Well, I did some research online, and apparently it seems like other players have this issue as well. And there was someone who suggested me to put the ball machine on one of the sides of the tennis court, so it's not in the middle, so it's much more difficult to hit it with a ball. However, obviously if you put it on the other end of the tennis court, then you will receive cross balls, so not straight but cross balls from the tennis ball machine, and maybe this is not something you want. The battery lasts up to 3 hours more or less on level 6 ball speed and level 4 ball feed, and with the oscillator turned on. So it's, in my opinion, it's quite a nice battery life. However, the company says in the manual that you should charge it every time after using it, even if you just use it for an hour. Back to the knobs, they are extremely sensitive. This is something I don't like about ball machine. So you can set them from 1 to 10, and just by setting it from 5 to 5.5 or to 6 makes a really big difference on the court. So you have to be very careful when you set them. personally find them a little bit too sensitive. However, which is also quite interesting, is that level 3, 2 and 1 are basically not very usable. So even if you set this knob here on the front, which is responsible for the trajectory, for the height of the tennis ball, to maximum, which is 5, and you use level 2 or 3, you get balls which are very very slow, and maybe fly 2 to 3 meters on a very low level, very close to the ground. So maybe it's okay for kids who are very short, but I personally, me as an adult, don't really find a use for it. The ball feed knob is also quite sensitive, so just a little bit of change has a huge effect. I usually use it on level 4 to 5. If you go up to 7 or 8, you get balls which are really fast, much faster than if you would play actually with a real person. The oscillator is not very loud, which I like a lot, and generally speaking the ball machine is not loud, so if you use it you won't probably disturb your neighbors on the nearby court. And even if you use it indoor in the winter, in a tent or something similar, which are famous for having a really bad acoustics, you won't get disturbed by the noise of this machine. There is a small controller which is very simple. It has 2 buttons. You can stop or start the ball feed, and you can stop or start the oscillator. Well, it's very small, so it fits into your pockets very well, which I like a lot. It has a light here on the top, which shows you whether you press the button or not. It blinks green. What I don't like about it is that you need to press the buttons quite long, in my experience, so maybe a few seconds long, until the machine gets the signal. And when the machine gets the signal, it beeps. And personally, I find it quite difficult to distinguish between the beep of the start and the beep of the stop. Maybe there is actually not a difference, which I am personally not a big fan of, because I would like to know whether I stopped the ball feed or started it. But as I said, it's quite difficult to know. So when you start the machine, which I will do now, the 2 wheels will start to spin, and these 2 wheels are actually responsible for throwing the ball towards you. And here on the top, this rotational whole wheel will start rotate, and the balls fall here down, and then eventually they will end up in the middle, and then here in the wheels in the front, and then the machine will throw you the balls. Many times, actually every time when I'm training and using the machine, one of those balls will be stuck here somewhere, or stuck here between this and between this part, leading to a stop. And this is especially annoying when this upper part is full of tennis balls and you just want to keep playing, and you realize standing on the other side of the court that there are no tennis balls coming towards you. So what you have to do is that you come over to this side, you kind of push the balls away. First, obviously, you have to switch off the machine, push the balls away and find your way down here, remove the stuck ball, which is stuck somewhere here, and then turn the machine on and go back to the other side and hope you solve the issue. I don't know why, but it happens about once or twice every hour. and this it might be some kind of design flaw, just as the design flaw with the flaps, which are very easy to break, which I was talking about in the beginning. Another thing to mention is, which is actually quite common with most of the tennis ball machines, as far as I know and as far as I understood the reviews online, that a few tennis balls will likely stay here in this area and they will not roll down and they will not be pushed out or thrown by the ball machine. So you will end up with a few balls lying here every time. Cleaning is, I personally don't find it very important or necessary to clean. However, especially if you play on clay or probably on grass field, then you will end up having dust here. And what I sometimes do is that when I close the flaps here on the top, then I grab the ball machine like this, and then I tilt it, and then I make sure that some of the clays and sand are actually getting removed. Yeah, I think these were the most important things I wanted to talk about. All in all, I think it's a quite good ball machine, especially for the price. If you live in the USA, or if you can buy it in the USA, you can many times buy a refurbished model for about $800, which is quite a good deal in my opinion. And I think there are definitely a lot more ball machines that are better, which have better options and more options, which have wheels, which have better remote controller with more buttons and more options, and so on and so forth. But if you're looking for a small one and you don't mind changing the flaps if they break, and you don't mind not having wheels and so on and so forth, then I would probably suggest you to go for it. Yes, thanks for watching.